If I could dine out every single night of my life, I would. But see, the shocking reality is, and this is really shocking, I'm not rich and famous yet, and it's all your fault. No, I'm busy staying on that alpha grind set, baby. You know, I'm investing, trading, stocks. So instead of wasting my hard-earned American currency on nice things that could potentially improve the quality of my life, I'm gonna stick to the basics, okay? Okay? And what a better place to do that than America, right? You know, I live in America, and it's highly mediocre. Thank God for mediocrity, though, because where else, and I mean truly, where else can you find something like this?
You ever seen a flying pickle? Well, now you have!
Well, hopefully nowhere, because that's just bad. But if you're looking for an experience like that, let me tell you, America has way too much to offer, and the worst part is, most of the time, you find these places entirely by accident. Hey, let's go on a road trip. Ooh, I'm getting kind of hungry. Oh, look, it's a Cracker Barrel in middle of nowhere, Louisiana. That sounds safe. But are they happy accidents or not? Well, that's what I'm here to figure out today. So shut off those brains and grab the biggest beer you can find, because we're about to take a look at some of the weirdest restaurants America has to offer.
You gotta get down to Hooters, have a drink, catch the game, get yourself some awesome wings.
Hooty hoot hoot, ladies and gentlemen. Our first stop today is an all-time American classic, Hooters. And now you're probably wondering, Andy, why would you start this video with Hooters? Well, why wouldn't I? Because if you've actually ever found yourself at Hooters, you're probably there for one of two reasons. Either you were taken there by an estranged uncle at some point in your childhood, or you are that uncle and you have nothing left to live for. Hooters was first founded back in 1983 in Clearwater, Florida. Need I go on? And it was originally started as an April Fool's joke, as the owners thought that there was no chance of success with a business like this. Now, normally I would think, yeah, that's a really bad idea. But then I remember that it's an American restaurant and it features two things: beer and booze. So good news for the 55 and up male community, it's time to get your first boner in 20 years. Let's go. Hey, get your mind out of the gutter though, okay? It's called Hooters because of like an owl, and see the O's are the two eyes with the dots in the middle, and oh, wow. Okay, fine. It's a restaurant for boobies. So why, pray tell, is it marketed as a family restaurant where, quote, kids are the star of the show? I don't even know if I can go into that. And why would I, considering the vast amount of lawsuits with this place?
I mean, we all know what Hooters is known for. What is it known for?
Tits and ass, I think.
Year 2000, Hooters ordered to pay $275,000 to a waitress who claimed to be the victim of sexual assault. 2010, a lawsuit was filed against Hooters in Michigan after an employee was given a job performance review and was told that her shirt and short size could use some improvement by two other women who held positions at the headquarters in Atlanta. The list goes on, but who could possibly forget about 2001 when a waitress won a beer sales competition with the promised prize of a brand new Toyota, only to find out that it was an April Fool's joke and she was actually given a toy Yoda. I mean, look at this real article. You can't make this shit up. You can call this a prank all you want, but you have to remember that you're dealing with an underpaid and consistently harassed service worker. I would kill myself. While yes, the organization donates to charity and breast cancer research, it doesn't change the fact that this organization is essentially the poster child for modern American workplace harassment. Look, according to the Wikipedia, you guys only have one criticism, and it's objectifying women. Congratulations. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, is this supposed to be some sort of Freudian baby bird, mama bird, owl roleplay? And look, I'm sorry for making you guys watch that, but what you need to know is that that's one of the first things that comes up when you search Hooters cringe on YouTube. Let's get a round of applause for research, please. Dad, I said I wanted an Xbox. This is not an Xbox. Hey, fun fact, Hooters actually had an airline for a while called Hooters Air, and that failed. Like, where are you taking people? So am I saying that all Hooters locations are guilty of these heinous crimes? Probably not, but it doesn't change the fact that it's all just really weird. Because after all, you're not going to Hooters because you're hungry, you're going to Hooters because you are undeniably thirsty.
Hello, the new human visitors.
Oh, it's such an honor to meet
Oh, thank you, the human handshake. An honor to meet you as well.
Okay, I know you probably have a lot of questions. I'm gonna answer them, don't worry. Mars 2112 was a restaurant that existed in the middle of Manhattan, and as you can probably tell by the name, it's entirely Mars themed. Now you're probably wondering, why did this exist? Well, according to the owners, it is the fusion of fun and good food and fantasy. And that's all cool, except for the fact that none of that was the case. In reality, it seemed like the idea for this place came from two guys who got really high while eating mid-food and said, wait, what if we made this experience terrifying? Because there's nothing better than being 7 years old enjoying a plate of spaghetti when all of a sudden you're approached by an incomprehensible being talking about some, that food looks good. But before I get too deep into this, let me walk you through the experience of a typical evening here. Patrons would enter the building where they would then board a space shuttle simulation elevator. Now, I actually went here when I was about 8 years old, and I gotta be honest, this part made me cry almost instantly. After deboarding and walking through a series of very horror-esque cave hallways, you would then be met with a massive dining room that was meant to be a hollowed-out cavern on Mars. Now, in concept, this is really fucking cool. The idea of being able to dine at an establishment like this outside of an amusement park was generally unheard of at the time, so putting this in the center of Manhattan was kind of the perfect plan. But you know what ruined everything? Having motherfuckers like this lurking around the restaurant the entirety of the meal. I actually specifically remember there being this big screen in the dining room where that lady would pop up and deliver like messages every now and then. That shit made me bawl. Don't believe me though? Okay, watch this clip then.
What's your name? Danny, how gorgeous. Did you know that in Martian it means shooting star?
She's not having a good time. Also, why does this guy in the background let out a groan of pain?
Did you know that in Martian it means shooting star?
It's only now that I realize why I don't have a great recollection of this place, and well, it's trauma. If all of this wasn't bizarre enough, the restaurant presented a highly confusing menu which made the food seem straight up unappetizing. Appetizers were referred to as first contact, which just seems highly medical and gross. The item that really interests me from this section of the menu, though, is the Martian soup of the day, because like, what the fuck could that be? Then we look at the entrees, which here are referred to as primary orbits. This included dishes like the Supernova spare ribs, Red Star roasted chicken, and Starfield salmon. Now, these dishes actually don't sound half bad, but you know what does? Martian Mama's chicken breast. No, thank you. I do not want that. You know, I was under the impression that we were leaving that back at Hooters, you know? Check, please. Now, of course, you've got your cosmic combos and your soft landings, but if you look a little closer at the menu, you'll notice that Red Oak Farms is the official beef of the Red Planet. Okay, good to know. What? With places like this, though, it's best to ignore the fancy wording and just try to have a good time, you know? Emphasis on try. And speaking of trying, Mars 2112 clearly did not, filing for bankruptcy twice before closing their doors in 2012. Now, what's cool is you can actually still access the website for Mars 2112, and it's kind of fucking insane, dude. One of the pages on the website is labeled Facts About Mars, and it is, I mean, quite literally just a massive page of Mars facts that may or may not be copied straight from Wikipedia. There's another page called Character Education that just opens with President Obama has called upon all Americans to become involved in community service. Whoa, okay, calm down now. But I don't know, dude, something about this being like from the Obama era is so funny to me. Like, imagine we pull up to actual Mars like 30 years from now and they're just like, y'all still got Obama? All in all, this place seemed to just be an absolute clusterfuck, and I think its closing came at the perfect time. Looking back at photos of the restaurant really gives me that early 2000s kind of liminal vibe that I don't really think would carry over to today, so I think it was for the best. This was the Obama era, right? So what would happen if you took this same idea and applied it to Trump?
I love a barbecue, but more importantly,
a love of country, a desire to build something that meant something.
This is the outward proclamation, proudly serving those who serve.
Oh, so that's what it would be like. Giddy up, folks, because we're taking a trip over to Mission Barbecue, one of the most oddly patriotic restaurant chains in the country. Now, as you saw in that very propaganda-heavy commercial, this establishment was opened in honor of 9/11 on its 10th anniversary by two former company executives. One from Under Armour and one from Outback Steakhouse. I mean, come on, what a combination. Now, from the outside, this place simply presents as your run-of-the-mill patriotic barbecue joint, so clearly I have a deeper intention with covering this restaurant. 10 years after our world changed forever, in some small way, we wanted it to change back. Okay. I may be reading way too far into this, but what is it with diehard patriots and ominous, almost threatening language? Like, this reads like a QAnon post. I mean, look at this place. It's like straight out of a Republican fairy tale. Look, even the cops are real. I don't care how hungry I would be. If I accidentally walked into this place on a road trip, I would simply cut my losses and starve. And that's nothing against the food. In fact, I'm sure that shit rocks. But let's take a look back at the mission statement and just read a little further, yeah? Every day we strive to serve you authentic barbecue made from the freshest, most delectable ingredients and serve it to you in a patriotic dining room filled with tributes to those who have made our country great, given to us by the people who earned them. And then this. Stop by at lunchtime and you might catch us during our daily salute to the Stars and Stripes, which brings me to my main point.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in honoring our country, as we do every day at noon, with the singing of our national anthem.
Now, I know you hate this shit as much as I do, so you know what? We're just gonna sit in this for a moment. We're just gonna take it in. Okay, yep, we're done. What type of Purge Hunger Games cult shit is this? How does this restaurant have the ability to bring men, women, and children to their feet as if they're preparing to march into battle? Well, I'll tell you one thing, it's definitely not the food. In fact, I wouldn't even be surprised if some old geezers just pulled up every single day for the national anthem like it's Sunday mass. But we're not at a football game, we're not at a school assembly, no, we're at a goddamn barbecue joint, and I'm hungry. Thank you very much. Not the time. Now you have to understand, watching the national anthem be observed these days has a very controversial connotation, but what makes this even scarier is the dead silence and blank stares from the patrons. I mean, these people are standing dead still. This looks straight out of a fucking horror movie, dude. And guys, this happens at every restaurant location every single day. You can look up countless videos of this happening and they're all the same. Now, of course, I had to take a look through the menu to see if I could find anything sus, but surprisingly, this one was actually pretty tame. In the salad section, they literally have one salad with an entree and side price, but if you look directly below it, it just says plus meat. Yes. And you know, how American is that? Giving us a choice even when we don't have one. The only other odd thing I found on this menu was the American Heroes Cup, which is just a really fucking big cup for $5. And you know, usually with a novelty cup like this, you would get free refills, but nope. The soldiers need that extra 99 cents. We need more anti-air turrets, please. But guys, this restaurant was simply the remix, because if there's one place in America that truly encapsulates Southern isolationism, it's gotta be
here at the Cracker Barrel. There's a feeling this time of year, the same one you get being around loved ones, or digging into gooey cinnamon roll pie.
Cracker Barrel, land of the free, home of the racist. Probably. In all honesty, there's not much to say about Cracker Barrel that it doesn't already say itself. But chances are, if you've ever taken a road trip in the South, you've probably found yourself here at some point or another. See, the thing about Cracker Barrel is that it's highly unpredictable. Because in the dining room, you're met with a cozy log cabin vibe that makes you think, wow, I'm so comfortable right now, but I feel like if I make any sudden movements, I'm gonna get shot. But in all honesty, I don't think getting shot should be your #1 fear here.
Court records indicate in 2014, Cronin, a then Marion County resident, stopped by the Cracker Barrel in Kimball, Tennessee for lunch and asked for water. His lawyer says the server used a pitcher that contained EcoSan or sanitizer and poured it in his cup.
Well, it would seem that dining at Cracker Barrel is just a straight up hazard because you can't so much as ask for a glass of water without being poisoned. But my point here isn't the service itself, rather the wild expectation from the customer base. When you go to a restaurant like Cracker Barrel, it is essential that you go into the experience expecting it to be entirely mid. It's the same principle that we use when we go to a place like Waffle House. You know, we're not here for a good time. In fact, we're actually here for a bad time, so let's just hope it's fun. That being said, it's time to dive into this section to look at some customer reviews. Mike Krieg says, terrible service. We got there at 2:45, but didn't get our food until 4:40. Jesus Christ. My toast was overcooked and my fiance's mac and cheese was cold. We will never choose to go back to Cracker Barrel in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Well, maybe if Mike had watched this video before it came out and took my advice, he wouldn't be in this position, okay? It's his fault. Real name here, Jan Cramblett says, I realize Thanksgiving is a popular time for you. I ordered 4 Thanksgiving meals to go on the Cracker Barrel app as instructed. We were to pick up our food at noon. It is 1:30 and still have no food. Now they are out of things. They were not prepared for the day, so they get a 1 star from me. Yeah, your first mistake here was ordering 4 full Thanksgiving meals from Cracker Barrel on Thanksgiving Day. What's crazy is that this is actually a very common customer complaint at Cracker Barrel, but how do you order a Thanksgiving meal, a full Thanksgiving meal from Cracker Barrel, and expect it to be exquisite? My favorite review, though, is actually a positive one, and it comes from one Ricardo D. And guys, this might be the craziest review I've ever read, so buckle in. Unbelievable. The pie was warmer than my past wife's heart. Snapping me fingers, cause this place is good. What? Couple questions. Number one, did you feel your wife's dying heart? And secondly, what about that puts you in such a good mood that you snap your fingers like you're eating jazz? But guys, it gets even better. The lady at the gift shop, I'm pretty sure was a spy though. She was following me around and had a nose ring. Russian, maybe. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the exact type of person that we need at Cracker Barrel. Goddamn. If this review is in fact real, this has to be hands down the greatest restaurant review of all time. And now you're probably thinking, wow, this guy did way too much research on restaurants that really don't matter. And you know what? You're right. But I didn't come here to just shy away and call it a day, because now it's time for us to reach the zenith of themed restaurants. So remember that clip I played at the beginning with the singing pickle?
You ever seen a flying pickle? Well, now you have.
Well, fear not, folks, because I'm here to break it down. If you're from anywhere around Manhattan, there's a strong chance that you've probably ended up here at some point. For those who aren't familiar, though, Ellen's Stardust Diner is a restaurant that is entirely based off of the obsession of, you guessed it, musical theater. Now, before you nasty motherfuckers get ahead of yourselves, I have a little something to admit. Not only have I been doing theater for my entire life, but I also spent the entirety of my 4 years of college studying it. So am I here to be a complete hypocrite and bash this place for all it's worth? Well, not exactly. This place has been open since 1987 and only has one location, so what in the world makes this experience such a draw? It's singing. Non-stop singing, just against your will, on top of your table. And look, don't get me wrong, the place is crawling with cringe, especially when faced with waiters and waitresses who just take it a little bit too far. I mean, it's the pickle clip. I can't get over the pickle clip. Most of the experiences at the restaurant are kind of fucking awesome, though. I mean, especially if you know how to get down with a good show tune every now and then. But because I live so close, and because I have nothing to do with my free time, I feel like it would be unfair if I didn't document at least one experience of these restaurants firsthand. So guys, we're making this happen. For the grand finale, I give you my firsthand experience at Ellen's Stardust Diner. Lord save me.
We made it to the restaurant. I'm gonna prove to you that we're here, okay?
My only critique, no one is singing yet. Let's take a look at the menu.
Yo, thank God they have mozzarella triangles.
Guys, I'm thinking of getting the Yankee Doodle Burger. It's got mac and cheese. It's gonna be
Probably about soggy as shit.
Guys, if you take a look at Rachel's mac and cheese, it's just mac and cheese with a lot of cheese. And it's $22.
Also, the pasta section is just mac and cheese and Italian mac and cheese.
That could be true. It's me. I'm singing. You're using a voiceover of me right now.
Should I get him to wave at me?
I really don't want her to come over here. Please, dear God.
Someone just finished their song, and some lady came on the mic and was like, "Who knows what musical that's from?" And the room was silent.
And then she went, yeah.
"Oh yeah." Please tell me I'm getting this right now.
Guys, I got the chicken and waffles.
Oh, not bad.
We're going to pretend we're in a production of Guys and Dolls, and we're all going, your mouth is going to be blue, just FYI. Drinking that blue milkshake. Let's all practice saying use, guys. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Not bad, but we can do better. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Use, guys. Oh, that was good. Now we're going to add.
I was handed this on the way out. Didn't really know what it was. Thought it was something highly political at first. Well, guys, we did it and we made it and we're done, and I need to just go home. And that's it. Did you have fun there? Guys, I love restaurants. I love eating. I love food. I really want to make enough money one day in my life so that I never have to cook again. I'm not saying that I want to go to any of these places, though. These places are kind of fucking wild. I would really only go for fun. But yeah, dining out is such a freeing experience. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel fancy and fun. But hey, all in all, I'm glad we took this journey together, and I'm glad that you are here with me to give me a kiss. It's always a kiss. As always, guys, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for interaction. And I think in the last video I said increased growth. People were making some weird jokes about that, but you know, do it. That's all I have for you this time, folks. But until next time, it's all fake. Look at this. I'm gonna tear it down. No, that's gonna get like stuff all over the place. Okay, bye.